Okay, just got through watching episode 3 of Lower Decks. Temporal Edict is the title of this one. And it's a little hard reviewing these nowadays, knowing that I'm going up against, some rather larger presences here. But just the same, again, I'm going to never be said I'm afraid to go against, whatever, to stand up for what I think is right. And it wasn't bad. It also, they took on and challenged a few things about, you had Ransom and Mariner going at it over, protocols versus, sometimes you got to screw the protocols. And the whole concept of buffer time was brought up, where it's like, you exaggerate your estimates for how long it's going to take to repair it, because usually the guy in charge don't know how to make it, so they don't know you're lying. But it's not so much, again, the whole concept is not that far-fetched, really. You pad yourself a little time in case something happens that you didn't anticipate. Like, you think it's just a simple little, plug in, plug out, and the thing is there's something wrong with the plug, that sort of thing. It takes a little longer. You add in some time, to cover yourself. And when you get it finished in time, or even earlier than you thought, then, why tell them you're done? They think you're still working. It's a chance to, catch your breath, regroup, gather your energies for the next job. Now, as it is, I think the humor is pretty predictable in this one, because you get the kind of screw ups that you get when you're pushing everyone too hard. They grab the wrong box, and suddenly you're suddenly throwing spears at you because you presented them with a log of wood instead of a crystal. And also made clear, the Cerritos is not a frontline ship exploring. It is a backup, support vessel doing milk runs. And you got some of the crew that wish they were on the Enterprise doing the exploring, but so. And you got what happens when you don't have any buffer time, and suddenly, the time estimates are not even what it would really take to get the thing. You're not giving, and people start just plugging things to get the thing done, and all yada yada yada. And next thing you know, your crew is dragging, and you're being invaded by aliens throwing spears at you. Such is life. Now, but it's it wasn't bad. I got some genuine laughs out of it, and also it's not the same story. No, this is the same story. We're just looking at it from the other angle. We're no longer looking at it from, the front of the flagship of the fleet. We're looking at it from the hind end, Where, no, you're not getting the top line assignments. You got to deliver gifts to so-and-so on this planet. Like I said, the Cerritos is the ones who show up. And it's okay, sign here, sign here, sign here. Okay, thank you. Here's your pizza. So, we're going to be talking, there's an old line, I think Jackie Gleason mainly, but he may have been quoting somebody else, is like, drama is ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances. Comedy is extraordinary people in ordinary circumstances, Like superheroes, trying to, clean the toilet, or, clean out the cat box, Batman digging out the litter box. Yeah, that's comedy, okay? So, it's going to be a little lowbrow, because comedy kind of hinges upon, upon stupidity and anger and frustration, and, But, it is still the same Starfleet. We're just no longer in the front seat. We're clearing the back, And there is humor to be had when you're in the back. Now, could they be doing it better? Probably, The show is still starting off. It's going to take a few episodes to find it, to get its legs under it and figure out what works, what doesn't. It took the Orville, most of the first season to get the right balance right, Now, we are talking Seth MacFarlane, who's, apparently a better writer than, what we got here. And, but, again, we got to give the show a little time and even out. And again, not decry it like this is the gift of Satan because the Antichrist name is attached. Again, Secret Hideout is not really producing this show. I think what something's not, it's Mike McMahon's company that's actually producing this thing. And again, this is where we're going to get, down the road when, Emma Watts does pull her thing and show Alex Kurtzman the outside of the studio walls. And they start, clearing things out. Mike McMahon, I think, is in a good position to make a pitch for no, wait, no, we got something here, we're connecting with with the fans. There's some fans out there who are giving us a shot here. It's not all it's not the blanket condemnation the other guy got. So I think there's and again they've already been apparently signed a second season when they started off, and it's an animation season, animation show. It's not that hard to produce. They can do it on their own. They don't need Kurtzman. And if there are any restrictions, and maybe once Kurtzman's gone, maybe the show will drastically improve because he's no longer throwing his 2 cents in with if he's even doing that. Now notice that again, spoilers galore because I don't bother with that. I don't take any notes on this thing. I just go off the cuff right after I watch it. But, Ransom actually proved himself to be worthwhile. He wasn't just a total blowhard. He could actually, put his money where his mouth is. And the call back from the access bell. Nope, that's what they go right down the hole. Oh, okay, but I lost where I was going. Okay. I think we did see a little character growth there. I mean, Mariner and Ransom seem to see a little eye to eye there. They're, seem like they're going in for a kiss there, but they're not nearly going to break. Hey! But, and after she promised not to report him to the captain, too. But, this it, let's again, let's stop trying to, make this, this is the final insult. They are, ass raping the corpse of Star Trek, and no, come on, it's that's the kind of rhetoric that doesn't help anybody. I mean, just like we should be, rewarding the Mandalorian for them at least trying to steer things back on track. We should be at least be a little more accepting of Lower Decks for trying the same thing to get the thing back on track. Get back in line with canon. Because I'll tell you, at the very end, in the far future, and they're talking about the Boimler effect, and the laziest man in Starfleet, and now another, important figure, they could have easily put in Michael Burnham. Or anybody else. No, they put in Chief O'Brien. They know where the bread is buttered. They need to, hit hard and heavy with the fan service here and make sure that they do it, references, and they do them right. And they make sure, yes, we are part of the Star Trek universe. We really are. Ignore the other guy who says executive producer. He's not doing anything. He's not around. Most of the other executive producers listed aren't around doing anything. They're busy trying to ruin Star Trek the other way. Trying to cobble together something coherent out of season 3 of Discovery. And throwing in also more projects on the wall saying, how about this, how about this, how about that, and they finally hit, I think, dovetailing into that part of the thing about the power struggle with Watts and Kurtzman, I'm thinking Sherry Redstone is starting to come to the thing that CBS has not been the best steward of Star Trek and starting to move things back over to Paramount. I mean, it's still in the same company, but now it's like you're no longer having to do major things. Just shift it, over to Paramount. Where you do have an institutional memory thing going of how they produce Star Trek. You got some old timers on there. I remember DS9, and this is how you do it. I'm sure they still have Rick Berman's name in the Rolodex, that sort of thing. But like I said, this show is, it's developing a bit. It's showing. I'm not going to say it's the best thing ever, but it's not that bad. It is not an affront to Star Trek. It's not contradicting everything either. It's adding to it on the far end. It's like the whole scream about the Romulan wizard. It's supposed to be Romulan ale. It's like they now have two forms of. It's an additive onto it. Okay. This is added to. It's not contradictory. It's not distracting. It's not downgrading. It's like, okay, this is a part of Starfleet we're not familiar with. The support crew. And these guys aren't. There's a reason why they're not in the Enterprise. They're pretty much a bunch of slackers. And for a support ship, that's fine. They still get the job done. Captain wants, Freeman wants to be, out there on the Enterprise kind of thing. But guess what? That job's taken, and so are the 1,500 in between. This is what you got. You will take your trinkets to whatever planet that was, and you'll be happy about it, Captain. Or we can always find you a freighter somewhere. That sort of thing. So, I know Doomcock's already got his review up. It's probably scathing as usual, but, I choose not to participate in the witch hunt here, okay? I'm giving this show a shot. I'm giving it time to, develop in there. And one, the season's already pretty much done, okay? I don't think they would have gone forward if it wasn't, at least largely completed or will be by the time, that last air date was up. But they've already got it all. They would have had the dialogue recorded like months ago. And all plotted and, boarded out. So season 1 is done as far as that's concerned. And any criticisms we have should be of a more constructive nature so they can apply those, device to the second season. Instead of trying to, go for the burn it all down, it's all contaminated because of the evil Kurtzman. It's like, it's back off a little bit and have a little rationality here, okay? Let's credit them for trying to bring this thing back in line. Again, under the fact that we are dealing with Kurtzman in that sense, he is the overall head Grand Poobah, so you can probably only push it so far. But I think so far they're doing pretty damn good as far as bringing it back in line. I think the only real tie-in you could possibly point to the Kurtzman verse is that Blomley knows about Section 31, but that doesn't, Section 31 is kind of an open secret type thing. If you know where to poke around, you can find, oh yeah, this is what we have. He may have been recruited at one time at Section 31 because he's the kind of stickler thing they might like, but he's too uptight. He can't keep a secret. And one of the Klingon disruptors was from JJ verse actually, but that's it, because it still looks like a Klingon weapon, and it's just a background dressing. So they had to fill out so it doesn't all look like, well, it's got that type and that type, and that's it. No, you throw a little something else in there. A couple of Orville, guns in that same display case. So. I mean, by and large, the attention to detail in this show is rather phenomenal. I mean, they screwed up a little bit in the bar scene. A couple of guys are sitting there and there's no chairs beneath them, but that's a technical thing. They could be missing a cell. But anyway, that's my view on it. PayPal, Patreon, subscribe star down below. PayPal's the best right now because we're really up against it a little bit. And planning a live stream on I think Sunday. My wife's birthday's then, so I'm not sure what they'll do, but just special occasion for a live stream. So hit some of the links down below, share, subscribe, like it, please, or dislike, because actually dislike counts the same. I don't care, but hit one of the buttons. I don't care. So, and we will talk to you later.